And yeah, this just feels like Fast and Furious bingo. What do I mean by Fast and Furious bingo? Well, let's go down the list. A character you thought was dead, who's now back. Ding! A character who was previously a villain, who's now part of the team. Ding! Let's see, what else? A character catching another character with the hood of their car, ergo, that person who was caught is not injured in any conceivable way. Ding, ding, ding. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Burns Reviews. If you want early movie reviews just like these, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give it a share, give it a like, really appreciate it. And without any further ado, let's talk about the latest in the Fast and Furious saga, F9. Dominic Toretto and his crew battled the most skilled assassin and high-performance driver they've ever encountered, his forsaken brother Jacob, played by John Cena! And, look, everybody's trashing this movie. I can't imagine everybody having high expectations for this movie. But now that I've seen the movie, I definitely have some definitive thoughts. Furthermore, if you want to see a spoiler-filled review, I was just on Big Gold Belts Media's YouTube channel with Najir, and we talked about it for a good hour. That's going to be up on his channel later today. I'll leave the link right here to his channel. But let's talk about F9. This movie has nothing to it, okay? Because when you go to a movie like this, you're not really going for the story. It's always convoluted. It's always a spy, end of the world kind of thing. You're not really going for the characters anymore because Paul Walker is sadly gone, and the dynamic that he once had with Vin Diesel has not been replaced or supplemented in any way. The relationship he has with Letty is okay. Ludacris and Tyrese Gibbons are still doing the same thing, but they're very mediocre. Yeah. So John Cena plays his brother, Jacob, who teams up with Silence of the Lambs herself, Charlize Theron, who is doing all of her scenes separate from the rest of the actors. And, you got Helen Mirren, she shows up for a scene. The character Han shows back up. He was dead, but he's back. He doesn't do a single thing other than join the team. He doesn't do any drag racing that he taught in Tokyo Drift. He doesn't have a moment that validates his existence in the movie. He just shows up because we need to get ready for part 10 and 11. And that's really what this movie is. This movie is a bridge between this movie and part 10 and part 11. And I imagine part 10 is going to be another filler movie. And part 11 is going to be the Avengers Endgame of this franchise, which is, dear God, I imagine they're going to get, Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, Jason Statham, anybody and everybody who's ever been in any of the movies, the Tokyo Drift kids. They're going to bring them all together for one giant thing. Probably in space with Jurassic Park characters. Why not? They've joked about it in space. They did in space. They joked about Jurassic Park making a crossover because it's Universal, and they just might do it, which is kind of a scary idea. I don't know. I kind of don't care. I really like this franchise as a kid. Each chapter has always been laughably bad, but I enjoy it because it's just the kind of movie that you want to kick back and turn your brain off and enjoy. And that was really true with parts 5, 6, and 7. 8 was kind of bleh. 9 is awful. 9 is the worst one in the entire franchise. I hate to say it, guys. And there are some real stinkers in this one, in this franchise. Tokyo Drift isn't great. Too Fast, Too Furious isn't great. This one is worse than all of them, in my opinion. We have these really cringy flashback scenes where Dominic Toretto and his brother Jacob are, I guess, like 18 or 19. Because I assume that Dom was 25 in the first movie. So we can only go back a little bit before that, before he's 15 or 16. So he's got to be 18 in the flashbacks. And these flashbacks happen when Dominic Toretto pulls on some chains which brings down the entire building, and he falls 1,000 feet into a puddle and doesn't die, but has a flashback to being 19 again with his brother Jacob. Big question, though, is in all these cheesy flashbacks, why didn't they just use CGI to put Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, in the movie? You know, the way they did it with, like, Captain Marvel and Samuel L. Jackson's character, Nick Fury. They made him younger. Funny enough, this is actually an MCU Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 reunion, because you do have Vin Diesel, who played Groot, you have Michael Rooker, who played Yondu, and you have Kurt Russell, Mr. Nobody, who played Ego, the giant god, Peter Quill's father. And if you have the MCU connections, and if you have a budget of $250 million, why can't you de-age Vin Diesel the way you de-age Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Hell, why can't you de-age Kurt Russell the way you de-age Kurt Russell? We have a flashback scene with him and Han, and again, a terrible scene that's convoluted, but he looks older than ever, so I don't understand where the money went when they say this movie cost $250 million. I guess it went to the CGI. I guess it went to the spinning out of the car with the bungee cord. Whatever. There's no character development. Vin Diesel has been playing this character the very same since Chapter 1. He's stoic, quiet, likes Corona, likes family. Yeah. With that said, guys, what an exhausting experience. I saw it on IMAX, that didn't help. And you know what? I champion this franchise. I do. I really like this franchise. I enjoyed a lot of the installments. But I think, at the end of the day, knowing that Paul Walker is no longer involved because of his passing, I guess they were smart enough not to put a CGI version of him in the movie. That would have been really rough. I don't think this franchise should exist anymore. Or if nothing else, they should just restart it. They should revamp it, get some 20-somethings to do the whole thing again. Maybe Dominic Toretto could be like a mentor to like a younger generation of drivers. Go back to basics, not to space. This movie goes to space, and it's bad. You know, I was actually in the movie, and I looked over, and at the end of my aisle, I saw, because I was at a private screening, there was like, I don't know, a bunch of us, and at the end, I saw somebody reading a book in the middle of the movie. Reading a book! How bad does a movie gotta be if you're reading a book? Anyway, guys, it's with that said that, I guess redeeming quality is that Justin Lin did do a decent job of choreographing and filming this movie. It's sometimes a beautiful film to look at, but you lose everything in characterization, plot development, cohesion. There's a lot of these scenes that don't really make sense to me where all the actors are clearly filming their scenes at different times in different locations, and they're splicing it together, and they're all on the phone, or they all got like a headpiece going, and it's like, you can feel how there's a lack of cohesion between the scenes. There's a really hammy epilogue to this movie, where once again they bring up Paul Walker's character only in mentioning him and showing his car. And look, even as I'm saying this, I am overselling it, because it just, I don't even know how to me, it feels like what they're doing with Brian O'Connor's character is like what they did to Samuel Jackson at the end of Spiral. They got him hanging on this marionette, and it's like, let Brian O'Connor rest. Let that character be. It was tragic what happened. We had a great send-off with Seven. Just leave it alone. It's borderline disrespectful and gratuitous what I feel like what they're doing with this character. You know, because they're not doing it for like any type of artistic purpose. They're doing it to make money. This entire franchise at this point of the game is a giant vanity project for Vin Diesel and his giant ego. You know this when you see John Cena go toe-to-toe with him and John Cena doesn't win. when you see The Rock go toe-to-toe with him in the previous movie, and it's a draw. It's like, come on, man. Come on. I think what this movie needs to do in the next one, because they're going to do it anyway, they need to put some new blood into it. They need to put like an actor or an up-and-coming, I don't know. They need something fresh. They need to spread that spotlight a little bit. It can't just all be on Dominic Toretto. I mean, we have beaten this character into the ground that we know too much about him. And on a final note, I'm giving this movie an F. On a final note, they could have easily made this plotline the final movie, because this movie is about going back to the beginning. And if you're going to go back to the beginning, that's usually something you do in the end of a franchise. You know, things tend to begin where they end and end where they begin. You get the idea. But we're doing it now. We're blowing our load early. We're doing it now. We're getting all the flashbacks with Daddy Toretto and the long-lost brother. Helen Mirren shows up for one scene. Charlize Theron shows up for one scene, maybe two. Never together with Dominic Toretto or any of the main crew. And yeah, this just feels like Fast and Furious bingo. What do I mean by Fast and Furious bingo? Well, let's go down the list. A character you thought was dead, who's now back. Ding! A character who was previously a villain, who's now part of the team. Ding! You know, let's see, what else? A character catching another character with the hood of their car, ergo, that person who was caught is not injured in any conceivable way. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, it is so over the top that I can't take it seriously, and that's why I'm giving this movie an F. I got nothing more to say about it. If you want to know more, me and Najir talked about it on his channel. We kind of went down piece by piece. And yeah, guys, I'm grappling to come up with the words for this movie because, like, I'm basically just trying to remember what happened. It's fading from my memory with every passing moment. I'm like, what happened in this movie? I forgot because it's dumb. I'm going to go watch Fast 5. I'm also going to do a ranking video, I think. We'll see how I feel about it. I might do a ranking video on this franchise. Because I do like the franchise. But what did you think of Fast 9? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Do you want there to be a part 10 in space? Comment down below. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John. You've been Burned here on Burns Reviews. We will see you next time.